to start the Shader Showdown final between Blueberry and Rohtie, which is the assumed correct pronunciation of that nick. And with us, as always, we have our lovely commentators, Duckers and Kuzma.
And no one has still been able to locate our fireball. So if anyone's able to find a fireball, somewhere between here and the...
Yeah, and in non-tequila related news, since we are ready, I think we're going to count down. So from 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
On the keyboard.
We have plasmas, although in different color schemes. That might be due to the fact that the timers are slightly out of sync. And Eric is here, ready for a comment.
The second one.
Eric too.
Yeah, I think you're. I think we have your phone here or something.
Yeah, that's good. I was looking for my phone. Thanks.
He was just looking for his phone.
So we still have two guys showing the default effect, but starting to write different stuff.
This is an extremely interesting final because Blueberry is obviously the legend, and Rohtie we haven't really heard of before. But he has a very...
we did see him winning the
Eric,
first round.
to be fair, he does have a very long ponytail.
That is very true. And in my previous, criticism of Jake, I did criticize his ponytail. I don't really have any problems with Rothie's ponytail. It is the combination of Jake's face with his ponytail.
Okay, this is getting very abstract, Eric.
Yes.
Let's rather comment on the gradient that we're seeing on the screen. This is a typical gradient where you're actually visualizing the clip space coordinate.
Yeah.
Where you're going from -1 in the lower left to +1 in the upper right corner.
The resulting is the lower left quarter being very black.
And we're seeing a sign being written. I'm a little bit disappointed that we don't get much more like perspective on things, like a division by Z or something like that.
Yeah, or a tangent. Like sign is like a very, I don't know, very trivial but very friendly function.
We're now looking at Rothie's screen, which is completely white.
He's a white supremacist, I think.
To be fair, it's more like off-white supremacist right now.
That is true. And now it's the green supremacist. I think this joke can go on forever.
It's totally used up now.
Yeah.
Let's switch to a gradient.
They're both doing saturated colors here. Clearly,
to be fair, Eric, is only saturated along the edges of the screen.
Yeah. No, your explanation from before still holds. It's like showing off the space, I guess. But it's not super interesting. I'm hoping Rohtie here will.
We are
will show
4 minutes into the very like. Do you imagine there's many more parties like this one trying to figure out who's the best live coder of this part of the planet?
All I have to say, all of a sudden we have like a penis on the
As far as Eric is informed.
It's a very strange and weird one all of a sudden.
So I'm just wondering, have you ever taken one of those tests, psychology, where you look at the ink spots and...
You mean Rorschach?
Yeah.
Rorschach.
How did you score?
It's penis all the way down.
Somewhere between racist and pedophile?
All of the above.
At least now the length is limited to the 16:9 aspect ratio that we're all familiar with.
Yeah. And I like how one of them is like just touching the end where you can see the textures he can choose between. And now he's not doing that.
Yeah, and at the right-hand side you can see the texture palette.
Yeah.
Which are the 6 textures that are the only allowed textures in this competition.
Weirdly enough, Blueberry's textures take up way more space. Does this mean that Blueberry is working in a lower resolution?
He is still tweaking sine waves. I can't really see if there's anything more with more perspective going on. You know, Eric, I'm a sucker for 3D graphics.
Yes, me too.
And I don't see that happening anytime soon in this source code.
I'm a little bit afraid myself that that Blueberry is gonna do.
Oh
yeah,
this
well,
is so 3D. Go back, go back.
He surprised us.
That's oh, look at that, Eric. Well, what is that?
Because it looks.
I've never seen that before.
Well, it's some kind of a twister, I guess. But so my experience is that, you know,
if that's a twist, whoa,
yes,
whoa!
exactly.
I was about to make a joke,
but
it no longer applies because that's a twister, ladies and gentlemen. That's a twister.
I was gonna say that this SSG, small Skjeggetemann, SSG, I don't know.
If that's not a twister, then my Amiga is not a 486.
Yeah, this guy knows how to do trivial effects, but do them really well and kind of, you know, like touch
The thing is, Eric,
your expectation of what it's gonna be.
The fact that you didn't embrace my suggestion actually encourages me to say that it's not a twister. It's just a sine wave.
It's two sine waves.
Two sine waves.
But they're like the kind of right sine waves. They don't destruct each other's. And Rohtie is now giving a head to the like.
They're in phase. Meanwhile, Rothie's side.
But he is. I feel this creating a character. It's like a body and a head here. And it's all in a white background.
And the sine wave just got shades.
Oh yeah. Yeah, some nice, you know, darkness going on.
The sine wave is now just gently fading into the blackness of the background, the internal void of the computer.
And I think Rohtie was just very quickly drawing a bomb.
That's classy.
It looks somehow like a cartoon bomb with a hole in the middle. Who cares? But it's a nice picture. Oh, and now his oh, it has two eyes.
If this thing had synchronization,
yeah,
it would really help Rothie's case right here.
That is true. Oh, I think it just got eyes in the top. Is this like a Limbo reference or something? Because this looks a little bit creepy, but like the good kind of creepy. Yeah, so we're down to 17 minutes, which means they both are pretty comfortable, but they still kind of need to, you know, not drag their feet.
What is this?
Two eyes and a mouth.
What is this? It's Fireball. Which
yeah, Lustin finally got the Fireball he wanted.
Thank you, thank you.
Oh yeah, and now we have some beautiful surface going on here. Nice stretchy surface. It's really nice. Yeah, so but
it's. I have a feeling it's going to be the closest thing we have to a 3D object in this competition. Except for Ferris's cubes that lost them, obviously.
But this reminds me that it's always a good time to vote, and you vote by going to
Ola is going to help us explain this.
party.solskogen.no.
Yes, party.solskogen.no with your registered user, which you will need a vote key to have, and then just start voting.
And Carly approves of voting.
Well, the Rothie's side, we're looking at a happy bomb. That's gonna bomb things.
I hope these sticks are gonna be arms, and he's gonna wave the arms for being happy. That's my hope. Oh yeah. And now look, maybe like arms, maybe a little bit. If they get a little bit taller, like higher up, that will be more arm-like. Now they're like sticks. Yeah, so now I have like a Danish snake on our screen here. Cameloso and everything.
You know, if you went into a Danish ice cream store and asked for a Cameloso,
you would get 1,000 liters of milk.
And this effect.
Would you get this effect? Yeah.
Meanwhile, on Rothie's side, the arms are very, very puny right now.
Yeah. I feel like he's falling into the trap of going into, you know, the... Yeah, that trap.
Didn't we see something like this at Revision this year with Stickman? Yes, we did.
That is true.
I'm assuming some Germans shouted from the back.
You have very effective arms, Kevin.
And now we have a very nice, like very well-looking palette or whatever, gradient going on over there. Oh, and here's more colors.
The fact that Rothie is waving the arms at a higher frequency doesn't seem to be that effective.
Yeah, we're across the halfway point here.
Now we're actually approaching the halfway point, Eric. At 12:30, we're halfway. And judging by the fact that we're only halfway through, we've been through, this is the third actually heads-on competition that we're having tonight. We have very interesting graphics on the screen, judging by the fact that they're only being updated for 12.5 minutes.
That is true, and it looks like they both kind of like converge on some kind of direction.
Let's call it a local minima.
Yeah, let's call it a local minima. I think they both can do better.
I think the thing that would totally win this competition if we add a third dimension somehow.
Oh! And, what's your comment on Tabs versus Space?
It's very good.
All right.
Oh, okay. Well,
here we have Mickey Mouse.
We weren't allowed to actually bring this guy into the commentary track because it would probably be too hairy. But now he's here, and this is actually Flipside, also known as one of the pigboard nerds. And you're looking at your hardest competitor on the screen.
He's a fucking nerd.
Hello! Can you head jam like the dead mouse you're seeing on the screen?
I would like to point out though that this headbanging here is awesome.
And it's totally procedural. You're not expected to be able to do that with your actual biological body right now.
It's great programming on screen right now. You use spaces instead of tabs.
So yeah.
And tabs are obviously better than spaces.
Apparently Rohtie sold his soul to the Disney company here. But you know, all respect to, you know, making a good deal on your soul.
it's complicated to understand all the references that are going down.
So
Yeah,
Blueberry
I
added-
kind of just stopped paying attention when you stopped talking about the actual code. So I just fell out there for a minute.
Well, we're not seeing the code, so it's kind of hard to discuss it. But Blueberry is, like spinning his plasma across the twister, I guess.
They're looking at Blueberry's code. He actually, okay, let's look at the code for a second. So there's a main method, and there is one if. And I'm guessing that's whether you're hitting the twister or not.
Yeah.
And the rest is just signs and A signs. And
Now
A
it's
signs.
adding in else. So it's
And there's an else.
Oh, yeah.
What else?
So
what else, Blueberry?
I think the blackness is now going
Well,
to
let's
turn
see
up
what
like-
else. There's a comment going
he's
on.
adding a comment. It says music.
Exclamation mark.
Can
What-
we get
what-
some music?
Blueberry, what else do you got?
Hello, Sesh. Can you please play some actual music? Oh yeah, we did. Color equals texture.
He is sampling.
He's sampling
the
fast-
smooth Fourier fast transform texture.
which, to be honest, is like the most boring of them. But
And Ola eagerly wants me to point out that there's only 9 minutes left of the competition.
that is very true.
And Blueberry is just trying to figure out what to do with the Fourier transformation of the music.
Yeah. But
Meanwhile, Rohtie is just headbanging his head off right here.
Rohtie now has like a beautiful green glow around his white supremacist Mickey Mouse figure.
Is it more like the opposite? Because, yeah, well, never mind. Can we go back to Blueberry's code, please? I really want to see what he has in store. There's a max and there's a texture. And it's probably going to be a blinking background of some sort. And the color doesn't even compile.
I'm guessing you're right that we're gonna get some blinking going on. It's probably gonna like be somewhat nice, but oh yes.
That's much better than I thought.
Yeah.
It's actually a gradient go. Oh my god, that's beautiful.
That's nice. Can we go back to Rohtie? I would like to apologize for calling this white supremacist stuff because it's not.
It's more like green supremacist, alright?
I don't know. It's like a weird cartoonish dead mouse thing, but it's cool.
The problem that Rohtie has now is that Blueberry has actually a gradient going out from his spinner. And we all know from history that if you have a gradient going out from a spinner, it's hard to compete with.
What's the spinner?
Like whatever Blueberry's thing is called.
That's called a twister, man.
Yeah, okay, sorry. It's called a twister.
I think that if you have a gradient coming out of your spinner, you should probably go see a doctor.
Exactly. I think we should all excuse Duckers for going to the doctor right now. I think his spinner might be broken.
Well, look at that, Eric. Isn't that the most beautiful thing you've seen on screen all night?
It is pretty awesome. So I guess we're, closing up to the end
No,
of the
it's
compo.
actually a mere 6 minutes and 30 seconds left, Eric.
Yeah, but
And Dead Mouse is looking
dead.
Looking pretty dead.
it's very happy. That is true. Happy to be dead.
I think that's all the music we had for you guys.
Can we get some more music from the DJ? Yep, there we have it.
And I think we're going into the drop. And that means that at whatever level these guys have synced it up to the FFT, this is where you're gonna see it and feel it at the same time.
I actually want to really stress, if you ever tried coding to FFTs, like having something that responds
Rothie's mouse is
in a cool
having
way
a very
to-
hard time.
No, but if you ever tried coding something that responds to an FFT in a good way, this is actually surprisingly hard. And Rothie's bumping.
What do you mean? Outrax made a career on this.
Yeah. But I said interesting way, didn't I? Anyway, and Blueberry made like I guess like a tunnely weird kind of color pattern thing.
Well, Rohtie made a mouse that is stapled to the wall while trying to dance.
It is pretty fucking awesome though. I must say, my biggest problem with Rothie's mouse is that the arms are like connected at the wrong end. It's like they're connected at where they meet and not where they...
I'm not entirely sure about that. I think he's actually scratching himself on the chest. So I think he's been doing meth and is tweaking.
That could be, that is very true.
That is the most likely explanation.
Yeah. But now the whole picture is pretty fucking crazy. Kids don't do drugs, it's not cool. Or if it's cool, your parents don't want you to know it's cool.
I think since we're already talking about drugs, if Roth is on meth, then I think LSD is probably what's going on here. But it looks quite nice though.
I would say for the last 4 minutes of the live shading coding compo, this is a pretty interesting result. We still have two very like 2D effects.
The thing happening on Rothie's child now.
Oh, he's adding.
Rothie's side was what I meant to say.
Yeah.
It is curvy and groovy at the same time.
That is true. I really like the silhouette thing that allows him to kind of add a like kind of strong signature to what is really like kind of
If I had to choose one visual to accompany me in the afterlife,
would this be it?
hopefully not. But if I had to choose between these two, it would be a really hard choice.
Yeah. Oh, there's some dancing going on here. Blueberry is wiggling his virtual tail.
Yeah, he's shaking it. This is a play for the gallery.
Now we're down to
That might be
2.5
point to the
minutes.
compo.
Yeah, so we're down to 2.5 minutes, and we have dead mouse with I don't know what's going on, weird colors, and also body and ear that travels apart.
Whoa, that's so trippy.
That was very trippy. And we have a very wiggly tail on top of a very welling background.
I think what you said about the arms earlier were not connected in the right place. Might be because they're not connected at all.
That might be true.
I have decided now which one of these I will take to the afterlife, and it's totally the very trippy mouse head.
Right now I'm gonna go to the live voting myself and vote.
Which you can all find on our party website at party.solskogen.no.
I just voted. I
So
hope you
should we-
guys do too.
Yeah. And it's we're soon on to the last minute of the final.
And the mouse's face is now totally stuck to the mouse's face, which is disappointing because just a few seconds ago it was traveling all over the place.
So we're at the last minute with 50 seconds left on the clock.
Oh my.
The weird dead mouse thing is getting like a shaky tit background.
Add another very high frequency sine wave to the waves. Meanwhile, Blueberry's ass shaking thing, is that the politically correct thing to say?
Yeah, it's slowly shaking his butt in a very pleasing way. And we're now down to, yeah.
We're down to
10,
10, and 9,
9,
and 8,
8,
7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
and hands down.
No more votes, please. And a big hand of applause to Blueberry and Rohtie for those things.
Okay, so let's have a look at the individual. Let's start with Blueberry.
It's some sort of C64 inspired plasma with some very curious looking waves going off to the sides.
Yeah, this is basically two different sine waves, kind of jiggling differently. And
Is it okay to say flirting with each other?
They're totally flirting. Those are like, it's very slutty sine waves
Yeah.
going on here.
But there are like radiating golden waves out to the side.
Yeah, yeah.
Meanwhile, in the other shader, we have a very, very high mouse.
It's I arguably also very slutty mouse. Like
Well-
the sluttiness in both the entries is pretty high.
Well, at least the waves going up into the lower ends of the mouse are very high frequency. And it looks happy.
Sure does. So, we're going to close the voting very soon. Make sure you get your vote in, decide which one you like the best. And then we'll close the vote in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And it's closed, so that means it's over. And we'll very, very soon see who's the winner of the Solskogen 2017 shader coding final. Let's see. It's a solid victory for the mouse. Congratulations, Rohtie. Thank you to Blueberry, and thank you to Tap and Ferris also for competing. Thank you to Sesh and Phobin for the DJ, and to Kusma and Duckers for the commentary. Let's have a final round of applause for everyone competing tonight in both the live graphics, live music, and the shader combos. That concludes the official program for tonight. We don't have anything more until tomorrow. Tomorrow, Phobium will be playing in the outside tent during the daytime. Some chilled out stuff, some ambient, and some nice cozy music to sit out in the sun and have some beers with your friends too. Also, there is the now traditional Solskogen basketball competition. And we might put up the chessboard as well. So, until tomorrow, have a good night, enjoy yourself, take care, and we'll see you tomorrow.
Wow.